Is the floor mine? Because I don't know, man. We might just want to sit back today and just let Dave have his moment. Because we started off to be one of the most entertaining Super Bowls. I can't say starting off because it finished the same way. We got to see the new overtime rules go in effect. A lot went on yesterday. I watched the 49ers make it to yet another Super Bowl as me being an adult. And I had to sit there and be like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? It looks like they're going to do it. But my favorite offensive coordinator, but yet now head coach, I know the Super Bowl was in Vegas. Did he think he was back in Atlanta? Because he forgot that the way you got there is the way you're going to win it. So Kyle being Kyle endures yet another gutting Super Bowl defeat as the Chiefs defeat the 49ers in overtime. And as we always do on this show, someone has to take the blame for a loss. What percentage of this blame do you give Kyle for the loss? Joe, outside of Dave, you're the closest person to Kyle Shanahan because of that W behind you. What you
got? Sucks that we got to start with the bad news first, but we're going to do it, though. I was going to ask a question. Are the 49ers our generation's Buffalo Bills? I mean, they didn't do it 4 in a row, but I felt like they're always there, always relevant, but they just come up short every time. So how much blame does Kyle Shanahan get? So here's my pie blame, as you want to call it, right? My blame pie percentage. 70% goes to Kyle Shanahan. I'll give him 70%. I know Dave might do a little more of that, but I'm gonna give him a lot, 70%. And mainly because the elephant in the room, you threw the ball too many times in critical situations. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, Purdy threw the ball 38 times, which is his career high. I don't think nobody know that. That's his career high, the most he's ever thrown the ball in his career. And no, Joe, this is not the first overtime game he's played. And everybody's mad at the coin flip situation. I'm okay with receiving the ball because think about it. You score a touchdown, they score a touchdown, and they score wins. I mean, you want to be the one in possession to win. But if you receive the ball first, you better be more aggressive than you were. You were aggressive, but be more aggressive. When it's 2nd and 4, you run the ball with oh my God, I can't think of his name. With Christian McCaffrey, right? You didn't get nothing. 3rd and 4. At this point, you should tell your team this is 2 down territory right here, right? 4 down territory. Sorry, we're going for it. So I would have ran the ball again and maybe get a 4th and 3 or 4th and 2, and then probably throw the ball if you have to. But instead, he throws the ball. And that goes down to my another percentage. Colton McKivitz, number 68 for the 49ers. How you leave Chris Jones wide open on that 3rd and 4 play? Chris Jones was unblocked. That was a touchdown. He was unblocked. If he just put a hand on Chris Jones, probably would have had no time to get the ball off. Because Kittle was wide open on the late release. Wide open. Right? So 2% goes to him. I'm giving 2% to Fred Warner because on that key 3rd down in the fourth quarter, Kelsey had that big game. That was on Fred Warner. He beat Fred Warner straight up one-on-one. But I only give Fred Warner 2% because he had a good game. 15% goes to Moody. Right? I mean, that extra point he missed, Dave, that was a terrible kick. That was a low kick. It didn't get blocked because these guys were athletic. It was a low kick. That's what everybody is talking about. That was a low kick. That was on Booty. All right? You got to put it up there more. This is a Super Bowl, baby.
That was on who?
15. Huh?
That was on who?
Moody.
Oh, I thought you said Booty.
Oh. What? You said what? I think I said what?
I'm just saying, man. That's what I heard. That's I had to make sure. I had to hear you clearly.
All right. And last 10%, Mahomes. I'm sorry. I only get the last 10%. Nothing y'all could have did. I mean, Mahomes made all the plays. But definitely Kyle Shanahan, I think he gets 70%. So go ahead, Dave.
No. We saved the best for last on this one. I'm going to be quick, Dave, because I know you got a lot to say. So for me, you said 70, Joe? 70%? That's probably because you had to pass the pie around to some other people. But 70? I'm going 80. Kyle, you been here before. You already know what you need to do to win the game. You already know you got the leading rusher in the NFL. I was about to say in the NBA. He might as well go over to the NBA the way he be coaching some of these games. He look like Mike D'Antoni sometimes. But I'm going 80% because you've been here before. This is your third time being in the Super Bowl where you blew a lead. You also seen how that game was going. You went. It was a shutout in the first quarter. Then you get the 3 points. So you kind of have a pulse in the feel of how this game is going. Your defense can make some stops. Their defense was making some stops, but if you can run the ball at the average that you all were running the ball, just keep handing it off. Because the Chiefs was getting tired. They was like, they didn't even want to tackle McCaffrey at some point. You could just see how they was getting up at times, like, bruh, this dude here, he won't go down. Even when he fumbled, they still gave it right back to him. Because most teams, if you fumble in the Super Bowl, you may not touch the ball again. They trusted him that much. Got him the ball. And also, I heard this little thing, on the radio broadcast. I know Romo was talking a lot, but somebody said this. I don't think it was Romo. They said Kyle came to them and said that he wanted 30 rushing attempts in that first half. They ended the game with 31. So how do you tell us that you wanted 30 attempts in just one half and in the whole game? You had you had an overtime. So Kyle, you lied. One, we knew you weren't gonna run the ball. Two, you've been here before. 80% goes to him. I'll say a little bit more later on, but Dave, I'm going on mute. Let him have it.
First, before I start, I want to give a congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. They played a great game yesterday. They did everything they needed to do to win. I'm taking no credit from what they did because they executed when they needed to. And there were missed calls on both sides of the field, so I'm not going to say that there was a call that was missed that caused us to lose this game because that's not the case. But Kyle Shanahan, if we're talking about percentage of the blame, you're getting 90% of the blame from me. Because of all those things that you said, Tomo. You say that you want to run the ball 30 times in the first half. And Tomo, and to correct you, he did not go right back to him after that fumble. He started throwing the ball a lot more with Brock Purdy.
I stand corrected.
This is the reason why I said in the beginning of the season that if we do not go to the Super Bowl and win, Kyle Shanahan should be fired. Because when it gets to the big game, he switches up as if he plays to not lose the game instead of playing to win. He does this too often. This is what pisses off everybody in the Bay Area. And I'm not even in the Bay Area. I'm in the DMV. But you heard it from the guy, Eric, who came on the show before. This is why people have their gripes with Kyle Shanahan, because when it comes to key situations, he's the reason why we almost lost the game against the Packers. He's the reason why we almost lost the game against the Lions, because we were not establishing the run. This is the biggest game of the year. This is it. You have no more games to play after this. There's nothing else. You've gotten here twice before, once as the offensive coordinator and once as the head coach of the 49ers. You played this team before, so you know what this team is capable of. I'm pretty sure that they consider you a genius. You know what geniuses do? They go look at the tape. They go pay attention to what the other team does best, and they go take away what they do. What is Bill Belichick known for? Taking away what you do best. What did we not do? We did not take away what they do best, which is throw the ball to Travis Kelce in the second half, and that is what caused us to lose the game. Also, you did not have anyone to check Patrick Mahomes in case he may run for a scramble. You do know he uses his legs. He does not use it often, but you know at some point in the game he's going to use his legs. 3 times he was just left to run whatever he wanted to do. We could have had a stop on 4th and 1, but no, he ran and got a first down. I don't put this game on Steve Wilks at all. I feel like this defense did exactly what they needed to do to win this game. They got pressure on Patrick Mahomes. He got sacked twice. We forced a fumble. We got an interception in this game. So we did what we needed to do on defense. But Kyle Shanahan, you cannot go into this game and not use your weapon that's gotten you here. And this is exactly what I said multiple times before. You went and traded for CMC when we didn't really need to trade for a running back because any running back can be good in this system. I figured you traded him because you wanted to use him in this situation because he's the best running back in the league, but you don't do it. So I don't want to hear genius when it comes to your name anymore. You are an idiot when it comes to big time situations. You blew a 28-3 lead to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. You blew a 20-10 lead to the Kansas City Chiefs with 9 minutes and 47 seconds left in the Super Bowl. We were up 10-0 in the second quarter, and you blew that lead. Now, I'll say this about Jake Moody. I'm shocked that he made that 56-yard field goal. I honestly I thought he was going to miss that. But he made it. So I'm not going to put too much blame on Moody. That's why I disagree with you when you say that he deserved some 15% of the blame. It's a block. At the end of the day, the special teams made a play. So I'm going to give them that. We had injuries that went down. Dre Greenlaw had an unfortunate Achilles torn after the special teams play. Then we had an unfortunate fumble that happened in special teams as well. When Ray at first it looked like Ray made a stupid decision, but he was trying to recover what he saw. He was trying to be smart about it, but it was nothing he could pretty much do at that point. But Kyle Shanahan, man, I'm serious. I don't think you should be called a genius anymore. You're a great offensive play caller. Don't get me wrong. You've done that. You've gotten us here, but you need to get over the hump. And they gave you an extension. I don't understand why they gave you an extension when you haven't even won the whole thing yet. That's what shocked me about it when they said that you and John Lynch got an extension. Like, I get it, but are we really? I say this. I think I've said this before about just getting there. Is that all that we care about? We care about just getting there, just getting to the Super Bowl, just getting to the NFC Championship game. We get it. We've been there, but we ain't winning nothing. This is the San Francisco 49ers franchise. We've won 5 Super Bowl titles in our history. The last 2 we've lost is because of you being a head coach. The other one was Jim Harbaugh. We get that. But this is why Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the league. It's because that's not true. I'll answer this. I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna answer the question.
Hold on. Oh, after you read it, because a report came out saying multiple players admit that they weren't aware of the playoff rules. Those might be bench players. I'm just saying that just came out.
It might be bench players, but Fred Warner and them knew. They said the rules before. They knew what the rules were.
I was just reading the report. I feel like when you post the news in the chats now.
I got it. So Donnell Worm, the 49 Super Jet, he asked, question day, why was y'all players unaware of the OT rules? Not to be funny, that's a bad look if true. Look, whatever those players are, they need help. They need to go ahead and I don't know who they are, but it should not be any of the starters. They should automatically know. Jair Brown should know. He's a rookie, but he should know. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen the playoffs the last few years to know exactly that those rules were changed. Like, come on now.
Fullback. From the report, it said it was a fullback. It was Kyle
Juszczyk?
Another Kyle.
Well, then that's ridiculous on you, Kyle Juszczyk, that you did not know those rules. You're a pro in this league. You should know that.
That's what the reports say. I don't know how true it is, but I'm just throwing that out there for the people.
If it's true, that's a bad look. That's a bad look if that's true. I will agree with that. If that's true, that's a bad look. But the coin toss, Joe, I'm with you on the coin toss. I'm not mad at the coin toss decision to receive. My thing is Kyle Shanahan wasn't aggressive. He wasn't aggressive enough to be able to put his position to score a touchdown. You don't go – come on now. The other person on the other side of the field is Patrick Mahomes. I get it. It took we had the ball for 7 minutes and 30 seconds, but we ended up with 3 points. This is Patrick Mahomes we're playing against, Cal. We're not playing against Blake Bortles. We're not playing against some other quarterback. This is Patrick. He's already won 2 Super Bowl titles. He's the MVP of this league. He's the best quarterback in the league. You know what he's capable of. He is now 20-1 when he's considered an underdog. Because you did not do what you were supposed to do. So I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, Kyle. I don't. Jay York, I don't know why y'all thought keeping him long term was the answer. When he has shown you time and time again, he cannot get it done when it matters the most. You say you want to run the ball, you go and get the best running back in the league. He's the best dual threat running back in the league at that. He can run, he can catch, and he can pass. But you don't use him? And then Elijah Mitchell has what, 2 or 3 carries in a game? Like, seriously, Kyle Shanahan? And we talked about Baltimore not running the ball. I get it. They only ran the ball 6 times, but you didn't run it like you said you would. You don't promise that you're going to do something and then you just go back on what you say just because you saw Christian McCaffrey fumble the ball. You saw that we stopped them from scoring after that. Like, come on, man. Do you not have confidence in your team? Do you not have confidence in yourself? Where's your mental fortitude when it comes to this? It feels like you fold when it matters the most. To me, it's almost like, other than the Bills, you remind me of like Doc Rivers of the NFL. Like, you just don't win when it matters the most. So, Kyle, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I really don't understand why you continue to put yourself in these situations and you just choke every single time, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. And you decide to throw the ball on the best passing defense in the league. I get it. You were successful in the beginning of the game, but that's because you had some play action going along with it because you were running the ball. You just can't do that in this game. This team, this is the best defense Patrick Mahomes has had in his career. You have to attack the weakness. They were 19th ranked in rushing, and every time we ran the ball, we got success. There were a few times that they stopped us. I get it. But come on, man. You don't go and get CMC, and he's played healthy almost all year long. He missed 1 game. All right, cool. But you got Elijah Mitchell as well, who's showing you that he's healthy. He can run the ball. And Jordan Mason, if you want to mix him in a little bit, fine. But come on. It's just it was idiotic. So he gets 90% of the blame from me.
Let me read this report right quick because I want to make sure everything is correct. They said multiple San Francisco players said after the game they were not aware of the overtime rules are different in the playoffs than they are in the regular season. However, defensive lineman said he learned about the rules as they was reading them before overtime. You know, they had him up on the Jumbotron and he was like, oh, okay. And then that's when Kyle, the fullback, was like, well, I thought if we got the ball and we scored, we win. In that moment, I was sitting with my mother-in-law and she said the same. He was like, so what? They get the ball twice? Like, what's going on here? So if an average fan was confused, I think in the heat of the moment, they are players. They should have known. They probably was like, look, I just want to win. I don't care what y'all talking about. We just want to win. So I'll give them that little bit of grace.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm with everything else you said, Dave.
He ain't getting no grace from me.
Yeah, like, because even the Chiefs, Mahomes said they go through this scenario every day. Every day they go through it. He said, man, we got to go through this over and over again, but it prepared them for this moment, you know? Now, Dave, well, Carl funny. Carl said, I don't think your math is right. Carl,
No, you said you're missing the 1%.
That 1% go to you, Dave. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, man. I say that 1% for you. The reason why, because I knew if y'all would lose, you would come here angry. But maybe the mojo you could have gave them throughout the week could have helped, man. I don't know. Like, talk more about the 49ers, gave more of a, a fan perspective of the Super Bowl. We barely talked about it in the chat.
We barely did that the entire playoffs. So you gonna give me 1% of blame because I haven't done that the entire playoffs and we got to the Super Bowl? Really,
That's
Joe?
not
Are you
true.
serious? I barely talked about before we played the Packers. I barely said anything until the game came. Before we played the Lions, I barely said anything until the game came. Like, are you serious right now? We can go back in the chat and you'll see that.
You know what? You might be right, and that's probably why y'all had to make 2 comebacks in the playoffs because
and we still got to the Super Bowl. Like you made the same.
That's true, but you're going against Mahomes, different piece. I'm sorry. And look, also, you want Kyle Shanahan fired? That's crazy. Who's going to be the person who's going to replace him? Let's go back to Kyle Shanahan last 4 trips in the playoffs. Who y'all lose to? The Chiefs, Mahomes. The only person that beat Mahomes in the Super Bowl was who? Tom Brady, because he lost 3 offensive linemen. Everybody else is defeated, all right? Who else y'all lose to? The Rams, when Jimmy G was your quarterback, when you didn't even belong in the NFC Championship game. Y'all beat the Cowboys as an underdog, and y'all beat who else as an underdog? The Packers, the number 1 seed, as an underdog, and y'all went against the Rams in St. Louis. Los Angeles. Jimmy G threw a pick at the end of the game. I'm sorry. Y'all dropped the pick at the end of the game. So you put on Kyle Shanahan? Okay, that's not his fault. Y'all go against the Eagles. Brock Purdy gets hurt in the first drive. And we always talk about that. And then y'all play the Chiefs. Y'all go to overtime and lose to an incredible overtime performance to Patrick Mahomes. So I get it. Kyle Shanahan wasn't perfect, but to say he needs to be fired, I believe it's blasphemy. It's crazy. I mean, who are you going to promote? Who are you going to hire? Who else are you going to replace with Kyle Shanahan that's going to get you back to the stage 4 years in a row like this?
So, for one, I didn't just now say he should be fired. I said in the beginning of the season. This is why I said that.
So how you feeling now, though?
We keep him. I'm not saying let him go.
Because you brought it up. You said we don't get to Super Bowl and win, he should be fired. And y'all got to Super Bowl, y'all didn't win.
Nah, I said I was explaining my reason why I said that.
Okay.
I'm not saying he should be fired now.
And also, 90% I think is wild because I know he could have ran the ball more. But Purdy had his season high or career high because he haven't really played a lot of passing attempts. But do you know 22 rushing attempts is C-Max season high also? Like, Kyle Shanahan is doing what Kyle Shanahan been doing all year. Like Carl said, why are we expecting him to switch up? And on top of those 22 carries he had 8 receptions. So if you take away 8 of Brock Purdy's passes that went to C-Mac, that's 30 for 30 for real. They both got 30 touches. So C-Mac got the ball 30 times. C-Mac was a leading rusher, he was a leading receiver and everything. I think he was the second most targeted receiver also. So Kyle Shanahan uses McCaffrey in the passing game also as a running attack. But I do think he should have ran the ball more, but I just think 90% is crazy because he was aggressive to get y'all some points too.
He was in the beginning of the game. Yes, I get it. He was aggressive.
In the game too. When Jenny got that last touchdown, he went for a 4th down.
I know that. I understand that, Joe. But there were times, especially on 3rd and 4, where you just run the ball. It's 4 down territory.
Right.
Run the ball.
I agree with you with that.
Get your chance to get in there. And I'm not saying run CMC the entire time. You got Elijah Mitchell. I mentioned his name, Joe. You got Elijah Mitchell. He ran for 1,000 yards 2 seasons ago before we got CMC there. He was the leading running back before we traded for him. He was the reason why we went and got him because he got hurt. So we went and traded for CMC. Like, come on, man. You missing all the other details, Joe.
I get you. I'm just addressing your 90% part. You said 90%. So I'm like, I don't think
I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it 90%.
Maybe you can stick with it. I'm just giving you my reasoning. I mean, I don't think he deserved 90%. He called a good game to me. He could have been better, but you gotta realize Mahomes had a great overtime drive. Great.
He did have a great overtime drive. But what I'm saying is all of that could have been prevented if we did what we were supposed to do. That's what I'm talking about. I understand he did it great. It's Mahomes. I expect him to be great. But Kyle Shanahan, I expect more of you. Come on, you keep saying that you're going to do this, and everyone keeps calling you a genius. They say that you're one of the best coaches. San Francisco keeps saying you're getting robbed for not being called Coach of the Year. Man, forget all that. You need to win when it matters the most. That's what matters.
Honestly, as long as we agree, he don't deserve to get fired. Because if that was the case, John Harbaugh should get fired too.
Nah, I'm not saying he should be fired, but this is the reason why I felt that way. That's all I'm saying.
I understood why you said it, Dave, and I understood why you gave him 90%. Because Joe, you were the same person that came on here and gave Jalen Hurts 99% of the blame when they lost the game.
But why did I say that? I said because I did that because of the chat. And I even said before I gave my 99%. I said
Okay.
because people in the chat gave all the praise, he deserved 99%. That's why I said that. I ain't even preface my conference before I even put that percentage out.
I mean, but did they really have to preference the 90%? Because before the season started, he had a whole back and forth with Carl about why he wanted Cal out of here. Fast forward to yesterday, again, his point was kind of not even yesterday. We can go back to the Packers game. They made it out alive. You can go back to the Lions game. They made it out alive, but everything that David said and Eric came on here and said has been proven true about Kyle. It's just like,
And the
But
only
how
reason why people are saying that I'm tripping is because we have no one to replace him. That's the only thing. If we had someone to replace him, they wouldn't say that I'm crazy. But I get it.
my whole thing is y'all got here with this method. That's my whole thing. It's not like y'all
It's
switched
not
up last
about
minute.
getting here. That's the thing. I don't
But-
care about getting here. It's about winning it.
But yes, my whole thing is it's not like y'all switched up. You brought up Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts never really got blitzed for real. He got blitzed that game a million times and he looked horrible. Kyle
Joe,
Shanahan was the same guy we saw all year.
You just told me that Purdy threw for the most attempts in his career in the Super Bowl.
And
That's not what Purdy does all season. He
and
averages
Steve Mack had the most
25.
rushes he got all year.
That's why you mix in Elijah Mitchell. That's what I said, Joe. You
But
still don't
y'all
allow him.
use
You
Elijah
still
Mitchell
don't
all
have
year
him.
for real. Y'all barely use him all year.
but in this game though, Joe, that's a main 1-2 punch. If you looked at the way the game was going, every time Elijah got in, he was fresh legs. The Chiefs' defense was already tired from trying to tackle him. Outside of if C-Mac didn't fumble, if they didn't force that fumble, he was gonna have a field day on them because he was just running. Every time he ran, it was a positive play. It looked like Zeke back in the day.
He averaged 3.5 yards a carry. He didn't have a good running. He didn't have a good
Those
running game
numbers-
at all. See, like longest run was 11 yards.
Hold on, Joe. Those numbers is what they counted. If you watch that game like you watched it, every run that C-Mac had was a positive down. Like it was a positive rush. He never got pushed behind the line of scrimmage.
What?
I ain't gonna say never.
On that second and 4, he got pushed behind the line of
I ain't
scrimmage.
gonna say never. Calm down. I said
On
I ain't
the
gonna say
second-
never. Let me
on
fix
the
myself
second-
before you jump out there.
On a 2nd and 4 on a key play when we said they should have went for it. 2nd and 4, they ran it and he got pushed back, and that's why he threw it on 3rd and 4 because but the Chiefs had put an emphasis on a run. They was loading at the box for C-Mac. Like you watch that,
they were loading at the box, but we were still having success.
y'all averaged 3.5 yards a carry, bro, with C-Mac. He wasn't. He had a cut. He had probably had like 4 good runs out of 22. Other than that, it was chipping. He really was. He wasn't. He didn't have a great game to me. He had 11-yard run, which is one run he had at the beginning of the game. He got pushed. After that, he had like an 8-yard run, probably like a 7-yard run.
Even if you say we're averaging 3.7 yards a carry, it was 3rd and 4. If you run the ball, that's 3 yards. You run the ball again.
He ran the 2nd and 4, y'all went nowhere. He ran the 2nd and 4, y'all lost yards. How about
play
that?
though, Joe. That's one play.
This is a play before the one he's talking about though. Y'all was 2nd and 4. He ran it. Y'all went nowhere. And then 3rd and 4.
Run it again. Like, come on, Joe. That happened before. The drive before, that's what happened. We got stopped. It was 2nd and 4. We ran it. We got stopped. We ran it again and got a first down. Like, come on, man. Just run the ball.
All right.
Also,
get rid of Kyle Shanahan. We'll pick him up.
Come on now.
Now you keep bringing up something that I said
before. You brought it up, bro. You brought your first thing you said.
I said it in the beginning of the season, Joe. You keep saying it now.
Hey, you brought it up in the show. I would never know that. You never brought it up.
I answered your question. I said, do not fire him now. I said that.
Hey, well, okay, if y'all keep complaining about him, get rid of him, and we'll pick him up. We'll tell Kingsbury, go back to USC, and we'll keep Kyle Shanahan. I'll take him.
I just want to throw one more thing out there before we go to the next topic. Y'all was stopping the Chiefs at doing their best thing, but Greenlaw got hurt, and then the backup linebacker. That's what opened up Kelsey getting open in that second half because y'all had him on shutdown. Like he was so frustrated that he ran down on Andy. He was like, "Get me the ball."
And
outside of Greenlaw getting hurt, I don't think Kelsey touched the ball again that game.
And look, Tomo, last thing right here.
Greenlaw got hurt before the second half. So
no, that's what I'm saying. That first half,
yeah, he had 1 catch this first half.
Yeah, but that's because we had other coverages to help make sure he didn't get the ball. It wasn't just Greenlaw. We had like a safety to help watch.
But that trust, the trust factor is there when you know Greenlaw is there. you can give a little leeway. Now that it's another person there to say if you got to overcompensate at times. So that's all I want to say.
I do want to say this too, Tomo and Dave, before we leave. Now, I know everybody wanted Cal to go for it on 4th and 4 at the end of the game. I don't blame them for not going for it, because if you go for it and you don't get it, they only need a field goal. And your defense all game have been stopping them. They only touchdown for real. What is that the only touchdown? Hold on. They scored twice or once before overtime. They scored when y'all fumbled on the special team. And did they score another touchdown after that?
And the last touchdown.
They only had 2 touchdowns the whole game. It was all field goals. That couldn't be.
Nah, they had 3.
What was the other touchdown? I can't even think right now. But
it was all field goals.
Yeah, it was all.
Bro, y'all was stopping them the whole. They were not scoring, bro. Y'all, it was like when that one drive, they got all the way downfield. It was 3rd and 4 for them, and y'all got that key stop. I think Bosa got the tackle. So I get Kyle said, but just Mahomes, man, he went to a different. Like, I don't even think Brady would have done what Mahomes did, because Mahomes was using his legs and everything. So, I mean, hey, he just lost to a great one.
Then you got to put that on the defense. So 90%.
No, I'm not putting the defense. Defense did what they could.
So then the 90 can still go to Kyle, though.
Huh?
Nah, I'm not gonna bring this back up. I agree with what Dave is saying, though.
That movie kick should have been higher, though.
Man, I get
it was
that.
a block, though, Joe.
Listen to all the kicking experts. They all saying that was a low kick. That shouldn't have been blocked. That's what everybody's saying, bro. Everybody's saying that.
I mean, it happens. Now, let's go to commercial break so we can come back and talk about the positive side of the game.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.